What's up, guys? My name's Amiya Abner, a first-year broadcast journalism student hailing from the oh-so-sunny Tampa, Florida, and I'm welcoming you to the Orange Room. Okay, guys, we are now in the part of the show where I will be interviewing the Treasure Wilson. Treasure, do you have any welcoming words to say?
Hi, thank you for having me to be your first person to interview.
Yes, it's an honor for the both of us, I guess. This is pretty cool. I guess we'll just jump right into the Q&A. So how would you want to introduce yourself today?
Okay, I'll just kind of rephrase. My name is Treasure Wilson. I am a freshman student at the University of Miami, and I'm studying broadcast journalism with a minor in political science.
Ooh, so that's interesting. You said a minor in political science. Why is that?
Yeah, I really like politics and world issues. Like, even though political science is kind of more, I feel like, domestic based, you do have to learn a lot about the countries around. And I was always very interested in that because you can't be too focused on just you. You have to think of it on a global perspective as well.
So you mentioned broadcast journalism major. Okay, J School in the house. Right. So can you tell us a little bit about why you chose broadcast journalism as your major?
Yeah, so I was always into video production, editing, interviews, stuff like that. So at first I didn't think I wanted to do broadcast journalism. I really thought I was going to be doing chemical engineering. And then I definitely changed track. I was like, that's not for me. I want to be on the screen, behind the scenes, interviewing people and finding a way to actually tell a story because that is something I've always been interested in.
Yes, me too. I love journalism with a passion. Right. Let's piggyback on what you said about political science and you being very interested in that. Could you give us your point of view then about this whole quarantine situation?
Okay, so there's a lot of just different thoughts and opinions being thrown around about the virus. I do definitely believe the virus is real. There's a lot of conspiracy saying that it's not. So one, it is real, but because it is a real virus and it is affecting a lot of people worldwide, I do think that we need to be taking it more seriously. I know a lot of people are very upset about the actions being done, but I do believe that in order for us to move forward and grow, we need to be able to treat it as such, treat it like a big thing and do what we need to do so we can have it pass by and go back to normal living. So that's kind of how I feel about it. I'm not happy that this is what we have to do, but at the same time, I think it's necessary in order for us to grow as a country and other countries as well.
Recently, we've had a series of protest rallies where people are holding up signs talking about things not pertaining specifically to the coronavirus or about the economy. It's more so political, holding up Trump pin signs. So how do you feel about that? They're vouching for the reopening of the community, obviously. So could you give us some insight on how you feel on that?
Okay, so as far as like the protesting and stuff, I think it's bound to happen because it is one of our rights that we have as a country. However, I do still believe it's very necessary because anybody can attain this virus. And I think it's important for us to not keep spreading it around for the people whose like immune systems and bodies cannot handle it because we don't want people to just die off. As far as like association with like presidency and your political party, that doesn't have so much to do with it because there's just people who are just upset in general. But I do understand and feel for the people who are in the workforce who have lost their jobs and can't find job opportunities and things like that. And even though there are being stipends sent to people, it's just not enough to really keep going on like in the world like this because things are getting expensive and there's a lot of scarcity for necessities. However, we do have to just stay positive about it. And like I said, if people would stay inside sooner, we wouldn't be in this situation for as long as it would be. Like people are not actually taking the rules seriously. People are still having parties, doing the airports. Like you need to do your part in order for us to get back to the normal situation as fast as possible. For example, Atlanta and places in Georgia is trying to release their stay-at-home acts. As soon as they do that, people are going to go back in and get sick again. And they are talking about a second wave that could potentially come in fall. So in order to help us kind of prevent that, we just have to do what we have to do, which is staying inside, taking care of ourselves, trying not to spread it onto people and just tackle it that way rather than in anger and fear.
Right.
And people also need to understand that something like this hasn't happened. We're all learning the process and trying to figure out what we need to do. So people are just lashing out on emotions rather than logically, and that's not helping us progress in any way, shape, or form.
Exactly. I completely agree. So to kind of move along with the questions, I would like to ask you, how are you specifically utilizing your time during the stay-at-home order?
Well, first, school is taking up a lot of my time. So at my university, we still have to attend classes the times that we would regularly have school. So my Mondays through Thursdays are full. I don't have classes on Friday. So that's one thing. I've had a lot of video projects and blogs to post. So on top of the schoolwork, like I have to do those assignments and get those turned in by a certain deadline. On top of that, I have been creating a lot of content on social media. I started picking up on TikTok. I have not made YouTube videos recently just because I've been trying to balance school. I have also started a new project. I will say it's a type of show, cannot get into the details, but I have been filming for that every day, and it's been a couple hours every single day. Filming is ending soon, so the final editing and process will be out in the next couple months. So stay tuned for that. And then on the side, a little bit of PlayStation.
Okay.
So yeah.
What kind of games do you play?
So I literally play Fortnite every single night. I don't know why. It's just my safe zone just to take it some time. Fortnite, 2K, GTA,
Okay.
things like that.
Okay. So this sounds like you're a very independent woman. So how are you planning to tackle on any love interest or maybe future relationships or anything coming your way? Like, how would you tackle
Okay. Interesting question. Me personally, I'm not on the hunt
that?
for a relationship. I do think that like what's meant for you will happen. So I just know that it's not my time yet because I've met a lot of amazing people in my life. However, I need to find someone who has a similar mindset to me as far as ambition, being ambitious about what you want to do, being open-minded to try just like new things, go travel, see the world, good conversations. If you can just kind of talk and communicate with me, those are like kind of like the three things. I'm not like, I need an athlete or I need a rapper. Like that's not gonna help me mentally. I don't have like a type or anything. It's just once I find that, that's when I think I'll know.
So, if you only had 3 words to describe your school, how would you describe it?
Okay. How would I describe it? That's a tricky question. But can I just say opportunity? Like that's not like a describing word, but when I think of Miami, I just think of opportunity.
Okay.
Um, Personally, I do think diverse. We are a PWI. However, because of that, I feel like especially like the Black community is very, very strong. And there's a lot of different people at our school and then just in the area around us, there's a lot of like cool people to meet. Third, I would say, this is a weird word, but I would say awakening because it's really like, I really sit there and think and I'm just like, wow, like I'm studying my education at the University of Miami. It is a school with a name. A lot of people internationally do know of it and it is pretty like prestigious. It's not the easiest to get into. So it really just opens my eyes and makes me think like, okay, I'm at this school. I have a lot of resources. How am I going to make my mark and how am I going to do something that's going to make an impact?
Okay, so you mentioned diversity, but I did have a question about if you felt at any time a culture shock going into it.
Growing up, a lot of the schools I went to were predominantly white.
Okay.
And I will be honest, I do feel like when you go to a schools like that, people love to pinpoint your race, like wherever you go, like even in high school. It's like, obviously I'm Black, but I never felt ashamed of it. And I proudly represent being Black, and that's who I am. And I will always represent that. So it wasn't a culture shock because it's like, I knew who I am. I'm not going to change who I am, and I'm going to represent me. My quote unquote Blackness will never go away. That will show, and that is who I am. I felt comfortable being me. People respected me for that. and people would notice that. And that's just how it was. That's how I will continue to be. So yeah.
Okay, so earlier you did mention social media. Since you're an influencer and a content creator, how would you give some tips to people who are aspiring to gain engagement like you?
Okay. So I actually had like a conversation not too long ago on live with a broadcast journalism reporter, sports reporter, Taylor Rooks. She has her own everything. And the advice that she gave me just in general and for broadcast journalism was to create something that's your own. So I feel the same way about social media. I feel like you need to create something that's your own. A lot of people are in it for the wrong reasons. They're doing it because they want to be seen, like they want to be known, they want to get money. That will not show if you're not authentic and if it's not yourself. Like you can do 1,000,001 trends. You might be seen for it. But until you put your own take on it and your own twist and have your own thoughts that represent you, you won't be able to grow. And people will see the fakeness, I will say, on your social medias, and it like makes it look like you're not in it for the right reasons. So create something that's your own. Stay positive. On social media, people always have something to say about you, regardless. You could be doing great, have nothing wrong. People are going to have something to say. And as soon as you do something bad, people are ready to say something about that and then forget all the good. So stay positive, create your own content that you thoroughly enjoy to do, and just have fun with it. You know, that's my best advice. Have fun with it and keep doing what you do.
Okay, so let's talk about your YouTube for a little bit. Okay, so for the people that do not know, let's get a little introduction of your channel, kind of a back history of how it started, you know.
Okay, so I was always into YouTube vlogging videos. Like people would like get on me like Treasure's vlogging, da 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 da. I didn't care. It was fun for me. So I started out beginning of high school just doing travel vlogs because I traveled a lot. So I recorded my travels with my family, and then I was like, you know what? I want to get more people involved. I'm very interested in how people think. So I wanted to start incorporating different people and like their thoughts on my channel. So I started doing more public interviews. Had a lot of fun with that. It has grown. Like a lot of my videos have reached, I think I've reached definitely over 500,000 total channel views, and my subscribers have went up. And I wasn't in it to like reach a bigger audience. I was really doing it just for fun. So that's kind of how that started, and I've stuck with. Recently, I'm trying to make it a little bit more professional and college-wise. I want to do more interviews with people that I'm interested in to get different perspectives on the world. So that's kind of how I'm taking it now.
So let's dive into what music you listen to. Give me some genres, some artists, anything.
Okay, so music, people get on me about my music, but my music taste is all over the place. So, okay, realistically, on the daily, I will be honest, I listen to R&B. Not R&B like her and like
Summer Walker.
Like I like their music, but on the daily, I will be honest, I listen to a lot of Lloyd, Chris Brown, Travis Scott. So that's what I listen to on the daily for sure. But I love hip hop, like rap. I will be honest, I like Kodak. I like NBA, Stunna for Vegas. But I also like rock music. Like it sounds crazy. Sounds crazy. I've been listening to a little heavy metal here and there. I think that I definitely got influenced by X's music, the heavy metal. And then I love indie on certain days. So like Yellow Days, Cosmo Pike, Frank Ocean. There's not a music choice I wouldn't like. Some people are like, I hate country. I can bop to some country too. So it really depends on my mood.
It's good to have a little mix there. Okay, so to kind of wrap up this little Q&A session with Treasure Wilson, let's get a little insight on what you plan to do once this quarantine, this shutdown is completely over. What do you plan to do?
So I definitely, hopefully fall semester is not online.
I'm praying.
Because I am really good at like networking with people and meeting new people. I'm ready to be back in Miami, meeting new people, seeing who I can work with. Hopefully more like TV type of opportunities, because that experience for me has been really fun and helped me learn a lot about myself. I'm definitely going to be putting out more serious YouTube content. So interviewing people that I've always been interested in, and probably, still having fun. Like, we're still young, it's going to be our second year, just meeting as many people as I can and getting more involved with my school's TV network. I'm noticing I like entertainment news, hopefully dabbling more in that, and we will see how it goes.
Again, let's give a big thank you to Treasure Wilson for coming here and letting me interview her. I hope you guys learned some things from her and get inspired. I encourage you all to go and tap into all her social media platforms. Treasure, if you would like to shout anything out specifically.
Yeah, my Instagram is at Treasure Wilson with an X for the O. TikTok is Treasure Wilson 2 N's. Twitter is Treasure Wilson 2 N's. And hope you guys enjoy what you see. And thank you for having me, Amiya.
Yes, of course. Okay, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. And make sure you like it and you share with your friends. I hope you guys tune in again for another episode. Bye.
Bye.